Okay, today we will discuss about the Vedic period. The Vedic period, your second chapter. Vedic period, after the downfall of Harappan civilization, we have seen the Vedic period started. It is due to the invasion and settlement of the Aryan people, those who have come generally from the Central Asia. They came from this region and these peoples are known as Aryans. These peoples are known as Aryans. So Aryans, they came and obviously they ultimately settled down in the upper part of the Indo-Gangetic plain and ultimately they settled down here. The Dravidian or the people of Harappan, most probably they are defeated and they are forced to fall back in the southern part of the India. So the northern part we have seen, you can see evolution of a new civilization known as the Aryan civilization or Vedic civilization. And its time period is around 1500 BC. Okay, the total Vedic period we can divide it into two parts. One is early Vedic period, another one is later Vedic period. Okay, early Vedic period starts from 1500 to 1000 BC, whereas the later Vedic period starts from 1000 to 500 BC. Okay, so we can say these two are the Vedic clear division in the Vedic period. Okay, so and why it is termed as Vedic period? Because of the fact it is named after their main religious textbook, Vedas. Okay, among Vedas, the most important is first Rig Veda, then Samveda, Samaveda, and third Atharva Veda, and number fourth Yajur Veda. Total 4 Vedas are there: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda. The Rig Veda, it is the main Veda. It consists of around 1028 mandalas and some huge number of hymns are there. This is the main, or you can say core part of the Veda. All the major rituals or chanting, whatever, or you can say worshipping for the god, everything is concluded in Rig Veda. In Samaveda, there are stotros are there or sloks are there, which is actually chanted during the time of performing yajnas. Number third, Atharva Veda, it is also related to some explanation of Rig Veda. And number four, Yajur Veda, it is related to some supernatural power like ghost, spirit, etc. etc. So among the four, the Rig Veda is most important. Apart from these 4 Vedas, there are other part of the Vedic literature and religion, that is Vedanga, Sankhya, Darshan. Okay, so these are Upanishad, Aranyak, Samhita, Brahman. So these are the other part of the Vedic literature. Apart from that, we have seen this is the period also emergence of epics. 2 epics are written in this period. One is Ramayana and number second is Mahabharata. Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana is written by sage Valmiki and Mahabharata by sage Vyas. So what is the significance of you can say studying epics and all? See, I am not going in deep inside the story of these 2 epics. Already you all are acquainted with the stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata, and that is not important to us also. What is important actually, what is the implication and application and importance of these 2 epics in the present day scenario? Actually, these epics reflects the true nature of the society, the political system, the administrative structure, the position of the men and women, prevailing social condition, social stratification, stigmas. So each and every corner aspect of the civilization of that period is truly reflected in these 2 epics. So these epics has got immense importance from historical point of view. These two are the major resources for rewriting the history of that period or restructuring the history of that period. Okay, now we are coming down to the Vedic. In the Vedic period, the family is the smallest and single unit. The head of the family is known as Grihapati. Okay, several families togetherly from Gramas, and the head of the Gramas generally known as Gramni. In the early Vedic period, the rulers are not dynastical. মানে তারা একই রাজার ছেলে তার ছেলে সেও রাজা হবে এরকম না. They used to choose their leaders. But in the later Vedic period, this system changed, and there are two organizations in the administration. One is known as Sabha. Sabha is an organization of elderly people, বয়স্কদের, elderly people. Whereas another one is Samiti. Samiti is the organization of general people. All people are included in it. So Sabha and Samiti both are important, but Sabha was earlier got more importance. But in the later period, both Sabha and Samiti, they lost their importance, and in the later, first of all, Samiti got importance. Then both Sabha and Samiti, they lost importance because the rulers, they now exercise centralized authority. And the authority of the Sabha and Samiti, now the king, they are to deny. Okay, so we can conclude that in the later Vedic period, the administrative system become much more complex than the previous one. Now the position of women, early Vedic period and as well as later Vedic period. In the early Vedic period, the women are used to enjoy authority, and they are given rights in each and every aspect in comparison with their male counterpart. They can study, get the education. Okay, they can enter in the politics. They get the they are acquainted with the warfare, military science. Okay, so and obviously they are also involved themselves in teaching. We have got several instances where there is name of women teachers, women professors. Okay, but ultimately in the later Vedic period, we have seen there is a sharp decline of the status of the women. Now they are denied of getting education. Okay, they cannot perform jajnas further. Okay, they are not permitted to enter in the court politics. Okay, so actually in the later Vedic period, the authority and rights of the women are severely crunched, and this tradition followed in our country for longer period then onwards. Okay, the situation became much more worsened. Okay, so in the later Vedic period, we have seen that several women, they can also choose their husband. Okay, so but in the later Vedic period, we have seen all the right like getting education, and can enter in the politics, get acquainted with the military science, and obviously they can engage themselves in teaching and research work. All these activities are actually snatched away. Rather, their activity are limited within the home only. So we can very well conclude that in the later Vedic period, the women are denied of getting their social right. And in Aryan civilization, in Vedic civilization, the life is actually divided into 4 parts: 0 to 25 years, 25 to 50 years, 50 to 75 years, and 75 to 100 years. Total 100 বছর. The first one, 0 to 25 years, this is known as Brahmacharya. 25 to 50, that is Garhastha. This is known as Vanaprastha. And last one is Sannyasa. So, see, 0 to 25 years known as, you can say Brahmacharya. What is meant by Brahmacharya? Actually, this is the period when the children used to get education. They go to the house of the guru, stay there and get the education, and then return back to their home. Until unless their education is complete, they cannot marry. They remain unmarried, and this is and also perform chastity. So this is known as the Brahmacharya period. Next, after returning back home, they get married and obviously start a family life, engage themselves in trade, commerce or whatever their professions. So this is known as Garhastha. Number third, Banaprastha. From 50 to 75 years, after completion of some years, after a long period as a family man, now they have to detach themselves slowly from the materialistic activity. The ultimate aim of life is the liberation of soul, Atma Mukti. And how we can get liberated our soul? Through, you can say, your rejection of materialistic love and attraction. প্রকৃতিগত যা জিনিস আছে, যে জিনিসগুলোর প্রতি আমাদের লাভ আছে, পার্থিব জিনিসগুলো, সেগুলোর থেকে নিজেকে যত দূরে সরিয়ে রাখতে পারবে, তত তুমি আত্মার মুক্তি পাবে, আত্মার কষ্ট কম পাবে, এটাই বলতে চাওয়া হয়েছে। So Banaprastha is the period when they ultimately started rejecting the materialistic attraction and all, and preparing themselves for the liberation of the soul. From 75 to 100, they left each and everything, whatever may be the cause of attraction. They leave their family, they leave every materialistic items, and ultimately entered in the deep forest area and detached themselves from the regular civilization and all, and ultimately death calls them. So this is the period, this is known as sannyasa, that period of ultimate liberation of soul. বুঝতে পেরেছেন? আচ্ছা, এইটা অবধি গেল the Vedic. And now coming down, এবার যেটা আসবো আমরা, the education system. The Vedic education system can be termed as Gurukul system of education. You will be astonished to know the Vedic education system is one of the oldest education system of the earth. Not only that, the Rig Veda is the oldest text or manuscript of the mankind. We have got some stigmas and feeling of European superiority, that the European culture and civilization much more higher than the Indian culture and civilization, but you will be surprised to know that the Aryan civilization and the Harappan civilization is the cradle civilization of the world. Not only that, the Aryans of the past who made a massive descriptive text, okay, and the text is generally transformed orally from one generation to another generation. The written form available in the later Vedic period onwards. Actually, that's why in the first phase the Vedas are known as Shruti, because by hearing only they used to memorize that one, and then through them it is transformed from one generation to another generation. The Gurukul system of education, the education system is also massive and very scientific. Till today it has got a resemblance with the modern education system. The Gurukul system of education, they clearly identify the aim of education, that is the liberation of soul, and also prepare human being to perform duties perfectly, that is life skill as well as employability. So the students, they used to go to the house of the gurus, which is known as Gurukul, and stayed there and engage themselves. The guru used to teach them on several subjects, like you can say logic, philosophy, math, political science, military science, commerce, etc. Okay, and during their stay in the Guru's house, they not only engage themselves in the study, they also do the household work. By that, a sense of community culture, okay, a sense of brotherhood, a sense of fraternity is also developed among them, and there is no discrimination between the higher hierarchy and lower hierarchy. কি রাজার ছেলেও পড়তে আসছে, নরমাল গরিব ব্রাহ্মণ সন্তানের ছেলেও পড়তে আসছে, দুজনের মধ্যে কোনো কিন্তু পার্থক্য করা হতো না। The gurus used to put emphasis on neutral teaching, as well as they followed the path of neutrality, and obviously the discipline is also very high. And after completion of their study, these children, they used to go back their home, but the education is generally limited up to the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and in some places the Vaishyas also send their students in their children in the house. So this is you can say the Gurukul system of education. Okay. The Aryans also worship nature goddesses. Indra is the king of all god and also god of thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning. Varuna, god of water, god of rain. Agni, god of fire. There are several women goddesses we have also found, like Aditi, Usha, Prithvi, etc. But in the later Vedic period, we have seen some of the gods, they lost their prominence and new god came into prominence. These are done under Brahma, the creator of this universe. Vishnu. And number third, Maheshwara. Three gods are there, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. So we can say the Vedic period, there is a sharp difference between the early Vedic period and later Vedic period. And Vedic civilization, the economy largely depend on the agricultural activity. We have seen there is the extension of settled agriculture. The Aryan people, they gave emphasis on inland trading. Several connections are made between the cities and the villages and all. Okay, and they used two type of there generally barter system is there. Barter system means exchange system. And apart from two, you can say coin are there, Nisk and Mana. These two are the major coinage of that period. So we can conclude that the Vedic civilization started at the 1500 BC, and this civilization is one of the cradle civilization, and the Vedic text Rig Veda, it is the oldest text of the earth. Okay, it is the main Veda, as Vedas are generally, the knowledge of Veda transmitted from one generation to another generation orally, so that this is also known as Shruti. And there is a Gurukul system of education for partaking education. And another factor is that the life is divided into four parts, that is four ashramas: Brahmacharya, Garastha, Banpastha and Sannyasa. So we can conclude that Vedic civilization is a unique civilization of the earth, and we are nowhere inferior than the European civilization. Better to say, the European people learned so many things from the Vedic civilization and Harappan civilization. The knowledge is transmitted in Europe because that time Europe were in dark. The people, they didn't develop even the manuscripts and all. Thank you very much.